You look on examples, they 273 children in the survey. What job they want to do? It is the survey. The spy agent is 16%, 16%, veteran is 13%, professor athletes is 12%, movie star is 10%, video game designer is 8%, doctor 6%, and other is 35%. Now, if you want to have to convert this in pie chart, you go to work document and you can to the create the pie chart. And now the question in the problem is using the technical control the pie chart. You have to know how to make the pie chart. And the question 2 is 5 proportion observation in spy category. The question 3 is 5 proportion of not fall in spy category. Now you look on the pie chart. This one. You go to work document. You find it spy. Spy is 16%. Right? This is proportion. Proportion is 0.16. It is 16%. Right? 0.16, that means 16%. That is you answer the question 1. And what if proportion is not in spy? You have 2 ways to do. The first, because everything you add into you get 100%, that means 1. And if you subtract for 16%, that is 0.16, and you get the spy 0.84%. Or you add in everything. This one. That is not in spy. We have 2 ways to do not in spy. Use 1 minus 0.16% or you 84. Or you add in all the different. This is how to find the proportion of the not in. Look on the pie chart, you will see it. Even from the pie chart, we have 60% students want to be spy. So the proportion is 0.60. And a 5 not in spy. You add it on the 0.13, 0.12, 0.10, 0.86, and 0.35, get 0.84. Or you get 1. You might subtract for 0.60, you get 0.85. So that the 5, the proportion is not in spy. Not in spy, you have 2 ways today. You add in order, or you get 1. Subtract for spy, you will get the same solution. That is proportion of spy. Any question when you find the proportion of spy category and proportion in not in spy category? When you look on this the pie chart, you see it is sitting. That means 16% spy. And not in spy, you get 1, you subtract 0.60. 16% is 0.60. 16%. That means 0.60. And the 1 subtract 0.60, you get 0.84. That is not in spy. right? And or you add together degree, you can find not inspired. If you look into one, you can 5% of the veteran proportion is 13%. That is 0.13. Proportion of athletes is 12%. 12%. Proportion is 0.12. And you convert from percent to decimal. It is called a proportion. But you have to know how to create the pie chart. Go to the work document. You choose the chart and pie chart, and you load the number into one, and you can create the pie chart. On the take one, we have one question, create the pie chart. You must know how to do. And this is number 3. Number 4, add in relative frequency. Number 4, the question number 4. Find the proportion of observation for in athlete category or in the movie star. When you find the athlete category or the movie star category, you have to add the athletes and movie star. You look on the pie chart, or you can look on this one. Athlete and movie star. Athlete and movie star. Athlete is 12%. Movie star is 10%. So you find the athletes or movie star. You add the 12% plus 10%. You will get 22%. That is proportion of the athletes and movie star is 0.22. You convert from percent to decimal. You move to left to play 22 and you point here. This is proportion. You just convert from proportion to decimal. That is proportion of athletes or movie star is 0.22. And the question, this one, on the basis of pie chart, student concluded 6% of all American children want to be a doctor. When they grow up, what you tell the student? You look in the pie chart, we have 6% of children want to be a doctor. But if students say that 6% of all American children want to be a doctor. If you look here, only 273 children in the survey, whether has 6% of children want to be a doctor. But the student said 6% of all American children want to be a doctor. This it cannot be, because only in the 273 children, 6% in the 273 children surveyed. Not all in children, not all American children. 6% of all American children is not the same. 6% of the 273 children. So if the student concludes 6% of all American children want to be the doctor, this is not correct, because only 6% of 273 children want to be the doctor in the survey. Not 600% of all American children want to be doctor. So that is the difference. When you look on the pie chart, you see want to be a doctor is 6%, but 6% of the children in survey in 273 children, not in all American children. When you pay attention in the question, the 6% of American children is different is 6%. 6% of 273 children in survey. So this is the table you tell me percent of the children who want to be in when they grow up. If you want to, you have to know how to create the pie chart. Go to the Word document, right? And you go to insert, and you go to chart, and for example, you go to insert, and you look at the chart here, and you have pie chart, and you can choose one, and okay, and then in this one you fill in the number in this one, and then you will see the chart here. That is, you have to know how to create the pie chart. On the take one, you will have one person create the pie chart. Any question about this example? Contrast the pie chart. Find the proportion in the spy category. Find the proportion not fall in spy category. Find the proportion of observation in athlete or in the movie star. And the question is students say 6% of American children. What you tell the student is okay. Any question in this problem in this example?
Yeah, can you go back to the slide that had the answers for those questions?
What?
I think it was like slide number 7, maybe.
Slide number 7. This one?
Oh no, the one that had the answers to that.
The answer?
Oh, solution, yeah, that one.
Okay. This is a proportion of the spy. 0.60, and not in spy. You add other, or you want the one research 0.60. You got the same, yes. And want to find the number 4, you add in athletes and movie star. And any question about that example? Now you go to two-way table. You need two-way table. You look here, you have in the survey, one of the author statistics class student record a gender at least reading the novel or no. You had two ways. That's if you had a male and female, right? Male and female. You call it a two-way table. Male. This is the survey, the reading the book, the novel. Male say yes, male say no. Female say yes, female say no. Male say no, male say yes. And male, female say yes, and male say no. That is you call it two-way table. That means in the table we have male and female, and some male say yes, some male say no, some female say yes, some female say no. This is you call it a two-way table. For example, intergender students, male and female, and the answer is yes or no. It's written in the book. So you have 4 patterns, male say yes, female say no, female say yes, female say no. That's it, called it the two-way table. You look on this table. There is record from 42 students in the survey about what they read the novel in the past year. You know, the female not read is 1, but read is 3, and the survey we had it is 4. The male do not read is 2, read the novel is 1, the total is 3. You will have 3 people not read the novel, but 4 people read. So under you have totally 7 people. And the question is, how many the students read the novel in the past year? You look in this table. In the past year, the female is 19, the male is 11. So that is the total people read the novel. That is 30. The question 1, how many students read the novel in past year is 13. And the question 2, what proportion students did not read the novel in the past year? Did not read is you have 6 female and 6 male in the total is 12. But when you find the proportion is you get the number divide for the total. You will find the proportion. Did not read is 12, and the total people is 42. That is you want to get the proportion of this one. You get 12. 12 divided for 42. This is 6/21. And when you divide 6/21, 6 divided 21, get 0.286. You get 3 decimal. Or you send to this is proportion 0.286. Did not read the novel. Did not read 12 and so 42. You divide it. And number 3, what is proportion of woman read the novel? The woman, the female read is 19. 19 just 19 divided 42. And not 19 divided, but 19 divided 42, you will get 0.452. This is proportion of women read the book. And the number 4 is proportion is men read the novel. Men is 11. So that is 11 divided. You will find the proportion. 11 divided 42 is 0.262. The proportion of the male read the novel. When you find the proportion, you get the number divided for the total, and you will get the proportion. When you find the student read, this is the male and females. So you add together 19, you add 11, you get 30. Any question about this example? You look here, there are 30 students. There are 30 students read the book, right? And now you go to two-way table to find the proportion. In 2012, a total 1,842 adults were asked, do you favor or oppose the death penalties of person convicted of the murder? The table compare adults respond with their ethnicity. You look on this table, the favor African American 828 people, Caucasian 953 people, other 108 people, and total in favor 1,189. And opposed African American 140, Caucasian 414, and other 81. The total of opposed 635. And the total of African American in the survey is 268. And the total people of Caucasian in survey is 1,367. And other people in US one we get 189 people. So the total in all of people is 1,824 people. Now the question is 5% other in survey who uphold the death penalty or are Caucasian. The question is uphold the death penalty or Caucasian. You look on the table. This is the Caucasian. Okay. Caucasian at the uphold. O is you add together this one. O the Caucasian is 440, but the Caucasian is everything this one. So the all you add together everything and you will get the number. You add everything, you will get 1,588. You add for a Caucasian, the question is all, right? Find the proportion survey uphold the death or Caucasian. So you add the uphold and Caucasian. And you get the and then 953 plus 140 plus 440 plus 81 equal 1,588. So that is the all. Or you have to add everything this one and this one. Caucasian is 953, 414, and 840, 81, and 30. And then you will get the number of, when you find all, you add the opposing and Caucasian. And now the question 2, find proportion of others survey in opposing the death penalty and are Caucasian. This one, you see the number of both opposition and Caucasian. That is only 440. 440 different Caucasian and opposing. Caucasian this one and opposing this one. So that's the common of this one in 440. This is you have 440 people on the opposing and Caucasian. When you find the end, you find the common. So that is 440, you find the proportion, you got 440 divided by 1,824, and you get this 0.227. And in the first question, you get the 588 divided 18024, you get 0.871. This is proportion of the people. We want to find the proportion, you got the number, you divide for the total. The number you get the 1,588 divided by 1,824, you will get this proportion. Proportion E, the number divided by the total. And in the bowl of opposite and Caucasian E, 414. So you find the proportion E, 414 divided 1,824. And you get the 0.227. This is all. This is N. And you find the common. This is N, the both opposite and Caucasian. All is either in opposite and Caucasian. So you when all you add average the number, you get the 1,588 and find the proportion 1,588 divided 1,824, you get 0.871. And all people in whole opposite and Caucasian, you get 414 divide 1,824, you get 0.227. You look back in the table, you see the one. If and you call this is Caucasian this one and opposite one. So this is the common is 440. And you divide for the total 1,824. And you find the proportion. And or you get the Caucasian and add this one. Right. And then you will get the 1,000. And then you divide for 1,824. 1,588 divide 1,824 is 0.871. Any question about the or and n? Or you add together and you just find the common. And I go to number 3, the total is Caucasian. The question 3, the proportion of Caucasian who uphold the death penalty. You look on the Caucasian E, the total is 1,367. But the question is find the proportion of who uphold the death. Uphold this is 414. Right? Uphold the death. This is 414. Caucasian uphold the death is 414. And the total of Caucasian is 1,367. So try the Caucasian we 414 divided 1,367. 414 divided 1,367. You will get 0.303. Get 3 decimal. This is proportion of the Caucasian uphold the death. This is 3. You depend on the question. You look on the question. The question is 5 proportion of Caucasian who uphold the death penalty. You to focus on the Caucasian who uphold. And you look here, the Caucasian is 1,360 people, but the people uphold is 414. So then you get the 414 divided the 1,367. You have to look on the question about what and you find the Caucasian who uphold. So they find the total Caucasian and uphold, you divide, you will get the proportion. And the question 4, proportion of African American who uphold. This is you number 3, the question is Caucasian, and the number 4, the question is African American. So look here, African American. The total is 268, but the uphold is 140. The total of the question is 268, is 140. So then you find the proportion, you go 140 divide 268. Depend on the question. You look on the, what's the color? African American, we have 268, but there are 140 is the whole. So you find the proportion, you get 140 divide for 268, you get 0.522. This is proportion of the African American uphold the death penalty. Different under Caucasian, we had total 1,367, but the 450 the uphold. So depend on the question, you get the number you define for the total, and you get the proportion. And the question about this one, find the proportion. Depend on the question when they ask was, you look here, the 3, find the proportion of Caucasian who uphold. Question 4, African American who uphold the death penalty. So when you get question in the what, you look on this one. African American, Caucasian, and on the question 3 is the Caucasian, and 4 is African American. So then you look at total this one, right? And then the of course for this one. So divide the number for the total, you find the proportion. Divide 414 by the 1,367, you get the proportion. Any question about question 3 and 4 and 1 to 4 in this problem? Remember when you find all, you add in the uphold of the Caucasian and uphold. When you find the and, you find the common of Caucasian and uphold. And when you find the proportion of Caucasian of uphold, you find the total number of Caucasian and the number of uphold. You divide the uphold by the total. And find the proportion is African American. You find the total of African American, and you divide the portion by the total. This is on the table. When you look on the table, you know what is how many people favor, how many people oppose. In group, African American, in Caucasian or other, and you, when you find proportion, if the question about the favor, you give the favor, if the question is the favor, you use 128 divide 268. In the Caucasian, you use 953 divide 1,367. If the question is the proportion of favor, you will see the number of favor divide by the total. You the number of favor divide by the total. Depend on the question. If the question is the favor, you use the number of favor. And the question is opposed, you use the number of opposed. You divide by the total number. Any question about this problem? And you go number 5. Students say that Caucasian in study are more likely to uphold the death penalty than American African in the study because more Caucasian. 414 uphold the death penalty than American. You look on this one. Students say Caucasian in uphold. This is 414 greater than 140. And the student calculate that. This is what you do tell the student. Uphold the penalty But this is only in the survey. It's not all in the African American. So that's we cannot this one. Any question about this problem? This is the example. If you have any question about Caucasian, about the 5 proportion of the, you look, depend on the group, the question, what is the group? This is a poll. You look on the poll number. If the person is favor, you look on the favor and divide for the total number, and you get the proportion. Any question about the today we 3.2? You have to know how to create the pie chart in the go to the work document. You do the pie chart and you insert the number and the name of this, and you will get the pie chart. On the take one, we had the one question about create the pie chart. We have to do everything. This one the same. You go to work document, find the pie chart, and include the information. On the table, this one you see the percent of the spy sitting veteran is 13%, personal athlete is 12, movie star is 10, this is percent. You look on this one, you know about what this one. This is the job, this is the percent. The video game is 8%, doctor is 6%, order is 35%. Look on the table, you have to, when you create a pie chart, you go to work document and you insert in this number in the, and then you will get the pie chart assembly. You insert the information and then you will get the pie chart, this one. Any question about 3.2? That is the 3.2, you study a pie chart and two-way table. If you don't have any question, we can go to 3.3. 3.3, we study about the dot plot, step plot, and time series plot. This is the definition about the discrete and continuous variable. Continuous variable is a variable that can test on any value between two possible values. And decrease the variable is a variable A has gap between the successive positive value. This is the different definition about discrete variable and continuous variable. Continuous variable is able to identify where the variable decrease the continuous amount of time in second. It takes the person to run 100 meters. This is continuous variable because the time you can take the between the 10 second and 11 second. You can take 11.1, 11.2, 11.5, 11.6, 2 until 11. So that's it, you call it a continuous variable. Continuous variable is that we can test any value between the two possible values. Between the 10 and 11 second, we can take 11.1, 11.2, 11.7, 11.9, everything. That is you call it continuous variable. And decrease the variable either has a gap between the session. For example, number of times a person has traveled to Grand Canyon. This travel, you can 1, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, but you cannot take the 2.5 times, 1.5 times, 4.6 times. You cannot take the between the 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. You cannot take this one. That is the discrete variable. This discrete variable number of time person travel. Because we cannot take the 4.5, 3.5, 6.5 times. So that is you call it a discrete variable. And continuous variable, you can take the any value between the two positive values, but between the 10 second and 11 second, you can take a 10.5 second, 10.67, 10.7 second. So that is you call a continuous variable. And discrete variable, you cannot take the between the one example 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. You cannot 1.5, 1.2 or 2.5 or 2.7 anything. That is you call it a discrete variable. This is different about the continuous variable and discrete variable. Do you have any question about the definition continuous variable and discrete variable? Continuous, you can take the number between the two possible number, but the discrete variable you cannot take the between two numbers. That is the continuous variable and discrete variable. And now you go to study about the dot plots. Dot plot in the you look on this table. This is the score of take one of the student. Student got 68, 80, 38, 83, 73, 89, 75. This is the score student get on the take one. And now you create the dot plot each one. You have to count how many 60, how many 80, how many 38. And you look here. You find 38. 38 we have 1, right? 38 we have 1. And now you find the 68 1 68 you has 1, right? And now 80 you have 1 2 80 you have 2. And 85 we have 1 2 3 4 85 is 4. And 70 we have 1. 70 we have 1. Now 60 you have 1. 60 you have 1. And 62 we have 1. 62 we have 1 2. And 88 you have 1 2 3. 88 we have 3. And 93 we have 1 2 3. 93 we have 3. Now 68 1 68. 68, we have 1. 83, 1. 83, we have 1. And 65, we have 1. 65, we have 1. And 90, 90, we have 1. And 73, 73, we have 1. 73, we have 1. And 78, 78, we have 1. And 100, 1, 2, 3, 103. And 98, we have 1, 2, 98, we have 2. And 75, we have 1, 2, 75, 2. And 90, 90, we have 1. And 95, we have 1, 2, 3. 95, 3. And 65, 1. That's it. You count how many people had the score in the test 1. And then you make the dot plot. In this one. And then you put on the 38, you have 1. 60, you have 1. 62, you have 1. 65, you have 2. 67 and 70 and 75, 73, 75, 78, 80, 83, 85, 87, 90, 92, 95, 98, and 100. And how many people you put the dot on the table? This is how to create the dot plot. You count how many people in the score, and then you put on this one in the table. If 1 people, you put 1 dot, this one. And this is how create the dot plot. Any question about this dot plot? When you look on this table, in this dot plot, you have to, know how many people get the 100 score, how many people went 98 score, how many people get 95% score, how many people get 93, how many people get 90, how many people get 87, how many people get 85, how many people 83, and 2 people get 80, 1 people got 70, 2 people got 75, 1 people get 73, 1 people get 70. Did you look on the figure, the table again? You will know how many people got the score in the test one. And that's it, how to log the dot plot. The concept the dot plot, like you do this one, the same this one, you the concept the dot plot. And now the what is observation? What observation occurred the most? You look, the mod number is 4 dot. You look here. This is the number 4. This is high, number 4. Right? That's the 4 dot. That is the 4 dot. And the most 69. The question 3 is student who score at most 69 points did not pass the test. How many students? How many students did not pass the test? That is at most 69 points. That means from 0 to 69. Each student gets from the 0 to 69 point. That is did not pass the test. The question is how many students? When you look on this dot, you find how many students did not pass the test from 0 to 69.
Was this one of your classes, Professor?
Yeah. You look the S at least at most 69. That's mean from the 0 to 69, and you look on this one. You will count how many people did not pass the test. From you look on the table from 0 to 69. This is you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? This is we had the 7 students did not pass the test. Look on this one, you see from 0 to 69. Who this is the question is you have seven people. Each student who score at most 69, that means from 0 to 69. Did not pass that, how many students? You see that is 7 students, right? There are 7 down. So that is 7 students did not pass the test. And the question 4, each student who score at least 90 points receive grade A. What proportion? At least 90 points, that means from 90 to 100. So look on this one. How many? The question is what proportion? But before you find the proportion, you have to find the how many people get A. At least 90 points. And find the how many people, and then you find the proportion. On this one, you look from the 90. From the 90 here. From the 90 from here to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You should have the 13 students get A. So find the proportion. Find the proportion. We get the number you divide for the total student. We have how many students in one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you have total 35 students. And then you divide. You will get the proportion. And then you got 13 people, doctors, 13 people get A. And 5 proportion, you get 13 divided by 35, you will get 0.371. That is how to find the proportion. Proportion, the first, we find how many people. And then you divide for the total. You will get the 0.371. That is proportion. And the question about the this is at most different at least that means 19 or more, and at most city that is from 0 to until 69. And 5 proportion, you find how many people divide for the total, you get the proportion. Any question about finding the proportion? And any question? You look on the dot, you will see the people love the gray. When the question is as most, that means the less than or equal. But at least that is from the number and more. It's different the at more and at least. For proportion, you count how many people and divide the total, you will get the difference. And number question 5. Question 5 is identify any observation that are quite a bit smaller or larger than the other observation. What are some possible reasons that this happened? The question is identify the observation that are quite a bit smaller or larger the other observation. And what are some possible reasons? You look on this one, you see this one. It is the smaller or this one. Right? This is observation is smaller on the. It is 38. 38. The what are some possible reasons this happened? This is the all students get from 60 or higher, but only one student gets 38. This is the smaller order. And the reason, what is the reason why students get only 38 points? This some reason that means student very bad in the math, or they don't study, or the question is really hard to this student. Then this some reason that why student get only 38 points in this test on all the students in the city in London. That is student got 38 student is very small to order. And the reason that is they don't study or any reason. You look, they is the student. The score 38 is quite a bit lower than the other score. The student who earned that score might have suffered from math anxiety and a weak math background. This is the reason why students only get only 38 points. And I look on this graph, you will see this is very small to the other. That is you answer the question 5. Identify any observation that are quite a bit smaller or larger than the other observation. What are some possible reasons that it happened? The reason the 2 to 38. When you look here, you will see the only one very small. And the answer is score 38, quite a bit lower than the other score. The student who earned that score, it is the reason. The student who earned the score might have suffered from math anxiety and a weak math background. That is the answer for the question 5. Any question about this is example? You look on this, you can see everything and you can answer all 5 questions. Pay attention in the at most and at least. At most, that means small to this point. Smaller 38 point. At least that means the 90 and larger and bigger. That's it, at least. When the question find the proportion, you must have the number student get A first and then divide for the total student. That is find the proportion. Before you find the proportion, you must find how many students get at least 90 points. And then you divide the number by the total. This is the question in what proportion. In the question, they didn't ask how many students get the 90 points, at least 90 points. But you must find the number student get A first, and then you divide the total, you get the proportion. But in the question, they didn't ask how many students get A, but you find how many students get A, and then divide for the total, and you find the proportion. That's the in the question. They don't have the same 7-3. How many students did not partake? In the question, they didn't answer how many students get A, but you must find how many students get A before you find the proportion. Because want to find proportion, you must know how many students get A and divide for the total student. The same in the question 3. How many students did not attest? You just find out how many. If the question what proportion student did not attend, you get how many students did not divide for the total, and you will find the proportion. Before you find proportion, you must find the number people took first. How many people get A, and how many students get A, and then you divide just so you find the proportion. Any question about this example? This is you call it dot log. How people score? You just use the dot you put on this one, and you when you look on the one, you will see, you will know how many people get, how many score in this one. We call it dot log. Any question about that problem? Okay, now you go to percentile. Percentile is the k percentile of some data is a value that is greater than or equal to approximately k of the observation, and is less than approximately 100 minus k of observation. If the k that is example 50 percentile, that is the we call that is percentile of 50, or the 45 percentile, that is 45 percentile. That's either greatest or equals to k, because that is the percentile. You look on this table, find the percentile test score set 70 point. You look on the table, on the this one, you can find the percentile of the percentile. The question is percentile frequency. The question percentile is the find the percentile of test score 70 point. And look here, 70 point per up here. Percentile is 75. This is from this one to this one. Greater than 70. That's E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 26. That is 26 over 100. That is percentile 26. K percentile of the standardized value is greater than or equal to K of the observation, and is less than 150. You can find K from here to here, or you get 1. You subtract this 1. And that is you find the percentile, but you go the percentile in the next chapter, easy you find the percentile. And now you go to step block. Step block, you call it is stem. Step block of stem and leaf. Stem, if the step block goes into stem and leaf. In the 2 columns, the first column is the stem and the second is leaf. Then you break up the data until 2 parts, the leaf and the stem. The leaf is the rightmost digits and the stem is the other. For example, 375. The leaf is the rightmost digit. The leaf is number 5. And the stem is 37. This is 375. Step block, you block the stem and leaf. The leaf is the rightmost digit. The leaf on the right, number 5. And stem is 37. If you block the 379, 3 on the leaf and 37 is the stem. 384, number 4 is the leaf and 30 is number 4. Number 4 is not number 8. 38, the number 4 is the leaf, 38 is stem, right? 391, the 1 is the leaf and 39 is stem. 416, number 6 is the leaf and 41 is stem. That's it, you call it is step block. Step block when you break up the data until the 2 parts, the leaf and the stem. The leaf is the rightmost digit, the leaf is the right, and the stem is other. That is one to put the number on the step block. 375, number 5 is the leaf and 37 is stem. 379, 9 is the leaf, 37 is stem. 384, the 4 is the leaf, 38 is stem. 391, 1 is the leaf, 39 is stem. 416, 6 is the leaf and 41 is stem. That
Professor,
is,
I had
yes.
a question on this.
Yes.
So it says the rightmost number, like on 466. Is it always going to be a single digit, or sometimes will it be a bigger digit?
Yes, only the rightmost digit on the right, that is the leaf.
Okay.
Only the right number. Only the right number is the leaf. And
But
all the
always one single number?
one single number 0, 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, you got number 0, 7. The 7 is the leaf and the 10 is 0.
Okay.
Right number, only right number is delete and other is stem. Delete only one number on the right. That is you put on the step block. And when you look on this table, you can read the data value 30, 75, 30, 79, 384, 391, 398. Oh, you don't have this one. 440, 460, right? You look on this one, you can read the number. And from the number, you can put on the step block. And from the step block, you can read the number. When you look on this one, you can read the number 375, 379, 384, 391, 398, 460. This one. That is the step block. We call it is step block. Step block is break up the data into two parts, the leaf and the stem. The leaf is the rightmost digits and the stem is the other. And we call it is step block. Any question about step block? This one. You just write only number on the right, that is on the left, and other is step. Any question? If you don't have question, we have 10 minutes fresh and come back at 11:10.